All right, we need to talk about what has happened over these last 6 to 8 weeks, probably even including all of Donald Trump's second term. Trump's not just back in office. Donald Trump has declared war on every single thing that progressives care about. And this is not hyperbole, or I've even seen it pronounced hyperbole, completely incorrect pronunciation, but some people say it. Who am I to tell them no? This is not hyperbole. This is not fake drama. This is what is happening. Donald Trump has signed over 150 executive orders since January. Every single one is like a hit list of progressive policies and values. DEI programs gone. Environmental protections increasingly gutted. Immigration reform. I mean, forget about reform. Look at what they're doing with the mass deportations, denying due process, talking about suspending habeas corpus. And here is the scary part. There is not even a pretense anymore around this stuff. Trump's admitting, Stephen Miller is admitting, the people around Trump are admitting, we are fighting what they call radical leftist ideology. And he's using the full force of the federal government to try to do it. Let's start with what Trump calls ending illegal discrimination. What Trump has done with that series of executive orders is kill diversity and inclusion programs across the entire federal government. Every program designed to help people of color, women, LGBT folks, it's gone. Trump calls it protecting civil rights, and that's like saying you're protecting democracy by ending elections. The elections risk jeopardizing democracy, so we will end elections to protect democracy. It's that sort of backwards, upside down, black is white, down is up kind of thinking. He's ending programs that help marginalized people and saying that's good for civil rights. And even business leaders are freaking out. When you see CEOs complaining your policies are hurting our bottom line, you've screwed up if you claim to be the most pro-business president in history or whatever. So these are not liberal activists who don't like what Trump is doing. These are people who care about money. And even they are saying the war on diversity is bad for business. We then move to immigration. And this is where it gets truly horrifying. Trump wants to deport 15 to 20 million people. We don't even think there's that many deportable people in the country. The belief is it's probably like 11 million undocumented immigrants in the country, some of whom have temporary status of different kinds. There's this sort of concentric circles. Trump wants to deport twice as many people as even exist in the category. So this is not immigration enforcement. This is a mass deportation on a scale we've never seen, unachievable unless you start wrapping up documented immigrants and potentially even American citizens, as he seems to want to do. Right now, roughly half of the country approves, by the way, of what Trump is doing on immigration. Half the country cheering for this sort of cleansing as Trump effectively is carrying it out. And then we go to the environmental assault. Trump has signed multiple executive orders pushing nuclear power expansion with safety as an afterthought. And I say this as someone who thinks the left is too antagonistic of nuclear power. There's a right way to use it as a bridge, although I think it's probably a distraction. This is not about nuclear power being uniquely unsafe. It's actually modern nuclear is one of the safest forms of power in terms of the death toll per energy created. But the whole environment here is cut safety regulations, speed up construction. And that's the sort of thinking that gave us Chernobyl and that sort of thing. New nuclear is much safer. I'm not a reflexive anti-nuclear guy, but we have to understand the way that Trump is trying to carry it out. But what really gets me isn't Trump merely implementing these policies. It's all under the guise of being against this radical leftist ideology. Caring about diversity, that's radical leftism. Protecting the environment, that's radical leftism. Treating immigrants like humans, that's radical leftism. And Trump has said basic human decency is an enemy ideology that must be destroyed. That's textbook fascism. You demonize your opponent's values, you call them threats, you then use the government's power to try to crush them. So legal experts say Trump's testing the limits of executive power. sort of an understatement, okay? Trump's not just changing policies here. He's destroying federal agencies. He's taking agencies that protect people and gutting enforcement, installing industry insiders, and saying all of it is to promote freedom. So we are watching the destruction of everything progressives have been trying to build over decades. Institutions protecting workers, minorities, the environment. It's being torn down piece by piece. And the most infuriating part is that Trump says all of this is based on what real Americans want, as if caring about diversity and pluralism isn't an American value. Wanting clean air, not an American value. The truth is that there's really nothing radical about this stuff. That's just a word they use to try to manufacture consent for what Trump is doing. So what are we going to do? Because Trump is not slowing down. Over 150 executive orders in almost 5 months. Every day brings a new attack on progressive values, another attempt to destroy the social safety net. So we're in an existential fight here for American democracy, and we should not pretend that this is just politics as usual. There's nothing normal about what's going on here. We see the coordinated attack. It's happening right now. The war on the left is here. It's not over the horizon somewhere. The question now becomes, and this is what we've been talking about for some time on the show, are we going to fight back, or are we potentially going to watch decades of progress burn down in the name of making America great again? Vomitous, okay? That's where we are in May, almost June of 2025. A Trump-declared war on progressive values, and I have to admit he's winning because a lot of people believe it's politics. One party's in power, they do some stuff. The other party's in power, they do some stuff, and that's sort of it. That's not where we are right now. We are in authoritarianism with a red hat, and we need to keep talking about it every day until we figure out how to stop it. And that's some of what we're going to be talking about later today and also tomorrow. Let's take a quick break. Please remember, if you're not on my Substack, get on the Substack. We will be relaunching it soon with a bunch of exclusive and new content. And if the authoritarian clampdown comes against independent media, Substack is the only place we own our data. It's the only way I'll be able to get a hold of you and you me. So make sure you sign up at davidpakman.com, or you can email info@davidpakman.com and say, David, get me on that Substack, and I will gladly oblige. After researching, writing, refining, The Echo Machine, my book, is finally out. This is not just a book about how American politics got so broken. It's also about what's happening right now and what we can still do to stop things from getting worse. Trump's been back in power. The results have been even more catastrophic than many feared, with targeting of political opponents and gutting democratic institutions, laying the groundwork to even further consolidate power. But the thing is that none of this is inevitable. The same forces that brought us here can be countered if we understand how they work and what to do about them. And that's what the Echo Machine is all about. Some say that without corporate media backing, books like this can't succeed. I think we can prove them wrong. You can get the Echo Machine right now at davidpakman.com/echo on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Audible, Kindle, or by calling any local bookstore and asking them to order it. This book is more important than ever. If you care about what happens next, and I do, check out the Echo Machine today at davidpakman.com/echo.